How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs co-beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in today. As today, I do want to talk about one big thing that might seem very easy to say for Chiefs Kingdom and their fan base. But depending on how you looked at it going into this year, there was a lot of debate being had prior to the beginning of the season on who the best quarterback is in the National Football League. Now, a lot of names got thrown around. Josh Allen coming in off of a MVP season last year. Lamar Jackson, he's always a quarterback to keep in mind. You've got a lot of different areas. Some people would even say Jalen Hurts, who just helped the Philadelphia Eagles take down the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl LIX. However, preseason is not this season. Sure, you can have the debate of who is or who was the best quarterback entering this season, but I'm here to say that just putting complete bias aside, putting statistics in front of the eyes of many, Patrick Mahomes is performing like a top 3, if not top 2 quarterback in the National Football League, and I do truly think that he is a prime reason as to why the Kansas City Chiefs have been able to crawl out of their 0-2 rut to begin the season. Now, going into Week 8 against the Washington Commanders, a Commanders team who was coming off of a loss to the Dallas Cowboys, also having not had any success against the Kansas City Chiefs in their franchise history, on top of not having Jaden Daniels manning the quarterback position. All things are going to come up Kansas City. However, this is still a team to pay attention to, and I think Patrick Mahomes, seeing how he's played thus far this season, is going to be another key asset into this game, and this could be the game where everyone kind of takes a step back and, they say, Patrick Mahomes, he might just be the best quarterback we've got in the National Football League. And it's still silly to even say the fact because he is now in his 30s. And that's saying that he's old whatsoever. That's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to prove that, or rather say that Patrick Mahomes has been playing like an MVP type of quarterback in his last few games with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, on the season going into Week 8, he has already 1,800 passing yards, 14 touchdown passes, and 2 interceptions. That's it. He has been sacked 11 times. He has only not been sacked in one game, but that's not necessarily his fault. His QBR ranks 3rd in the National Football League with a 77.7. If you are into any angel numbers, there you go. There's a 777. He's only has 2 interceptions, which ties him as the 35th best quarterback in that department. 14 touchdowns, which ties him for 4th, and he ranks as the 4th best quarterback in terms of passing yards. However, going into his last few games, Patrick Mahomes, dating back to Baltimore, the Baltimore Ravens game, where the Chiefs offense had scored 30 or more points for the first time in a while, it felt like, in the regular season. He only had, I guess you could say he's only thrown 1 interception since then, and that came against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But other than that, he's had 11 touchdowns in 4 games, 1 interception. And the Kansas City Chiefs in 3 out of the 4 games of their last 4 have scored more than 30 points. This is kind of like the Patrick Mahomes that people have gotten used to. People used to fear. People used to think, oh my gosh, we're facing off against Patrick Mahomes. Not only do we have to stop his arm, but we have to stop him having enough room to move around and maneuver out of the pocket. Now, the offensive line for Kansas City is far more improved from what we've seen last season. In fact, according to a Pro Football Focus ranking, they rank the offensive line ranks as the 3rd best offensive line leading into Week 8. out of the entire National Football League. Would you have believed that going in from seeing how it ended last season? I wouldn't. Maybe for down the line and like seeing how the progression is, but the offensive line has been key for Patrick Mahomes to have success. And it just shows because last season he wasn't, or I guess he fell in the eyes of the public as not being the best quarterback entering this season. But it also has to rely on the fact that he didn't have the best coverage on the offensive line. He got sacked a career high 36 times in the regular season. He was sacked 6 times in the Super Bowl. And even then, Patrick Mahomes was able to get this team to 15 wins, 2 losses, and a Super Bowl appearance for the 3rd straight year. Really, if this team continues to play well on offensive side of the football with Patrick Mahomes manning his wide receivers, handing the ball off to any running back or taking the ball himself, being able to come up with 30 or more or averaging around 30 points per game, the AFC West is going to get tighter, more competitive, and it might lean towards Kansas City. I wrote an article that came out today talking about how there's a lot of equivalence in the way that the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty is playing right now to that of the National League representative in the MLB World Series, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Each team has a superstar that seems untouchable. For the Dodgers, it's Shohei Ohtani. For the Chiefs, it's Patrick Mahomes, both of which are veterans now. They've been in the league for a little bit. They know their things. Patrick Mahomes is a 2-time MVP. Shohei Ohtani's won a handful of MVPs, and he's likely to win another one this season. This is what dynasties are kind of made out of. So before people kind of say that, or going into or revisit, if they choose to revisit their thoughts of the playoffs or the preseason, saying that Patrick Mahomes isn't the top quarterback or isn't playing like a top quarterback or isn't a top quarterback just based off of his performance from 2024, I advise you to take a look at what has been presented as of late, the way that this team has been able to take some lesser known wide receivers in the hands of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to thrive and push them to the top. Examples being Tyquan Thornton and Juju Smith-Schuster in the time that Rashee Rice is back. Keep in mind now, with a positive offensive line, whether you got Josh Simmons on the line or not, a full, healthy, and improved wide receiving room, still led by veteran Travis Kelce in the receiving yards department. This Kansas City Chiefs team is still elite, and it's because they have one of, if not the best, quarterback in the entire NFL. As always, folks, be sure you follow me on X over at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs while we lead into Week 8 as well as throughout the rest of the regular season. If you are a part of the Chiefs kingdom and you love Patrick Mahomes, you're definitely going to want to also follow us over on X at KC Chiefs on SI. Everything gets posted there, whether that be columns, opinions, podcasts, game threads, all of it. You name it. Kansas City Chiefs on SI is the place to get your Kansas City Chiefs news. As always, folks, be kind to one another. And as always, I will see you tomorrow.